Aloha and welcome, video viewers. This is Binding of Isaac, the Rebirth Afterbirth Plus. So 1, 2, jeez, 3, 4. Yeah, I've got 4 characters not unlocked yet. Let's try Kane. Oh, okay. Cool. Certain fights that will be helpful. How long did that last? Like, technically in this fight, this is awesome. I've tried so hard to hit this one guy. Oh, right, I got to see the Starship Trooper movie. Ooh.
Pheromones.
Do I want this? Yeah, I think I do. So, I got to see the Starship Trooper movie. It was pretty good. It was really weird. If you're a Starship Trooper fan, you'll understand what I mean. Because it doesn't flow the same as the other ones, but goddamn, it was really weird. It started off with a behind the scenes. You know, normally the thing that's like after the credits. Nope. Before the movie even begins, they're giving you little spoilers for it. It's like, mother, god damn it. But it was a really fun movie to watch. It really was. I got to see it with my boss, my sister, and a friend. And it was definitely worth the lack of sleep, which oddly enough has me pretty concerned. Why would I be concerned? Well, the thing is, awesome. The thing is, I got to bed at around 11:50 at night. Well, that kind of sucks, you might say. But the thing is, I wake up at 4:30 in the morning to get to work without traffic. So, yeah. Ugh. You'd be thinking the same thing I was thinking. Oh god, this day's going to suck. No. See, I was wide awake, doing well for the rest of the week. Like, today is the weekend after that event. And god, like, I am just now getting tired. Which, truth be told, makes me feel a lot better because I was honestly thinking there was something wrong with me. But sleep has taken its toll. What the? I haven't seen a baby one before. None of that, anyway. I don't have any other movies that I plan on watching currently. Wow. He's violent. but there's a couple of movies that I hear tell of but haven't seen. Like the Sly Cooper movie that they were talking about. I don't know where that is. Like, I've looked a little bit on, like, the possibility of it coming out. And I got nothing. Like, no one has any information on it. Okay. So you randomly pick someone to run around. Oh, okay. Do you actually hurt people? Or... Crap. Why are you, like, right in the center? Yeah, we're not dealing with that. That is a no-go. Little angry fly, you are incredibly useless right now. That's fine. Monstro. I should have started with that. Two levels? Like 2 whole levels without taking damage. Looks like I'm not getting Samson anytime soon. Oh yes! I know this one. Rapid fire. This is going rather decently. Oh, battle arena. I've got one of these I can spare. When there's a lot of guys, that fly is useful, but as it is one-on-one fights, it is terrible. But, yeah. So, have you ever heard of a stoner moment? More specifically, a stoner philosopher moment. Because occasionally people have the stoner moment, where you just sit there and you don't know what the hell just happened, but you don't care. A stoner philosopher moment is when you sit there and go, God damn, that one idea just is amazing. And then when you look back on it, you just go, what the heck was I thinking? Quite a while back, I had said incident. And most people I've told it to have openly stated that either that is a really weird way to think, or that is freaking amazing. I don't know which you or any of you will determine it, but I intend on sharing it with you. The moment in question is when I dawned on the fact that the Lord of the Rings, from Fellowship of the Ring to Return of the King, are all parallels to a divorce. Now, like, most people, very few I've talked to, actually, like, no one I've talked to that I've actually talked to about this event has immediately gone, oh yeah, I could see that. Most of them go, I'm wanting to hear where this is going, because I don't see it. This is how it all goes. So, it all starts with a ring. And you're kind of forced into it. You feel like it's a necessity to do, or something along those lines. And you end up going on this adventure, this journey, to a particular goal that you're aware is the inevitability, but you still want to do it. Now, the adventure doesn't make sense to most everybody but you, and later on, it doesn't even make that much sense to you. And along the way, only your best friend sticks with you. Everybody else goes on, and it feels like, despite the problems of the world, your problems are the only ones that matter. Like, the entire world could be at war, and you just don't care. Along the way, you meet the individual who just, quite frankly, is not good for you. It's toxic. And you make them feel good, but it's not the other way around. Inevitably, you find out they're freaking psycho. And you plan on the thing that you had planned on to begin with, to get rid of the ring. Now, how do you get rid of the ring? Well, you pretty much just get rid of the ring. But you end up losing a bit of yourself in the process. Now, here's the really funny part. Which was I talking about? The movie or divorce? Oh, right, I remember halitosis. That was my stoner philosopher month. Like, a couple of people have just been told me, like, wow, holy crap. A couple of people are like, well, that's one way to look at it. Ultimately speaking, I don't think it was a smart idea. Like, I see the parallels, but there are so many conflicting aspects. Can it draw inspiration from? Well, let's be honest. Anyone who's experienced horrific events, and from all the stuff I've heard, a divorce is not fun, will tell you that it's not about understanding the events. It's about surviving the events and becoming either a better person or changing. And no, change does not automatically mean for the better. Change is neutral. Change is only good if the change itself is good. So as you can imagine, in the case in point of divorce, it's very possible that change is not a good thing. A movie that I watched a while ago, The Tale of Despero. It's a tale about it's a kids movie. I love kids movies. About this little mouse. This little mouse has massive ears. Think Dumbo. Ooh. Actually, I'm going to avoid both of these. And it pretty much tells the tale of how he saved a kingdom. Now, how does this tie into what I was originally talking about? Because I tend to ramble for no coherent reason. Well, this actually has a very specific point to it. Within it had one of the main characters, a rat. I don't remember his name. And this rat, he got scorned. And all the while, a narration is going on, stating how all hearts will heal from the pain of life, like losing a love and whatnot. However, some hearts feel crooked or broken. And they're just twisted, change who they were. That happened to two of the characters within this cartoon. Like, it was a CG, but it was still, as far as I'm concerned, a cartoon. It parallels that statement a little too close to home. Now, I haven't myself had that. Well, I wish to say that I haven't had that happen to me. But due to one ex-friend of mine, I've been a lot more aggressive and not a particularly fun person to be around. Especially when I'm upset. And the thing is, I get upset way more often than I used to. Like, before, I was incredibly fast. Like, incredibly fast. I would find something irritating, and I would just not deal with it. I would figure that the day would come where it would eventually fix itself, and I didn't have to care. But I don't do that anymore. I wish I could, but I can't. It's not who I am anymore. I'm Two-Face. And I both owe and blame the individual for that. I won't give out their name because I'm not that type of person. I may absolutely dislike this individual at this point, but other people may. Like, they may like this person, they don't want that person being badmouthed. I'll just avoid having that occurrence happen. Hello, Super Greed. Goodbye, Super Greed. Thanks for the loot. But yeah, twisted change it's very difficult to be aware of. Like, I constantly self-reflect. Constantly. And I do so mainly because, well, honestly, I'm not sure. I've never really found a reason why I constantly self-reflect. Especially considering sometimes the self-reflecting, it freaking hurts. It sucks. Like, it is terrible at times. Because I don't self-reflect in a objectual way. No, I self-reflect with the point of view that I'm in the wrong somehow.
Tears down.
I thought the Lucky Rapids foot prevented that. Oh, no, that's right, they changed it. Yeah, we're not dealing with that. Wait, wasn't there a heart back here? And so, yeah, I've just been dealing with that for far longer than I really should. And I mean, I could regale you with the tales of how that pretty much screwed up my point of view in life as a general thing, but why? I mean, why should I go over my slights that inevitably broke me just because they amounted so much? It's not pointful. Just got back all the hearts and you want me to sacrifice them? Ha! No. No. The Hollow. Actually, the angry fly is going to be useful against these guys because they're so freaking large. But whatever piece it's from. Yep, there we go. Done. And I got a silver heart. Okay. Woo! I'm looking forward to several games. Like, I've pre-ordered Marvel vs. Capcom.
Telepin.
Oh, that was bad. Infinite. Now, I've heard from several of the reviewers who got to get their hands on them during E3 that it's not that great. But I'm really curious on if they are going to give this story
Speed up.
a good point. Like, if it's going to be a good story. I love crossovers. Like, oh man, do I love crossovers. And the thing is, I absolutely love good crossovers. Because, unfortunately, there are some really terrible crossovers. Like, dear God, why did you think that was a good idea? Crossovers. And but now in Marvel vs. Capcom, there really wasn't a story. Marvel vs. Capcom 2 wasn't really a story, to be sure. I mean, really, there wasn't. Marvel vs. Capcom 3 actually had some, like, arcadey stories to them. Were they good stories? Like, as much as everybody freaking loves them. Even the Deadpool story was just kinda It's very fighter arcade storyline. And I'm sorry, nowadays it's difficult to warrant that as acceptable. What do I mean? Well, okay. Let's take example from of all weirdness, freaking Mortal Kombat. So Mortal Kombat started this trend that I think should be continued. And that's a legitimate story in a fighting game. Now, I'm not going to say that the story of Mortal Kombat is good. It's a fighting game. However, if you try to compare that story to any of the other fighting game stories, it is a king. Because it actually has narrative. It has a flow to it. A timeline. Oh, and here's the thing. I'm talking about Mortal Kombat 9, i.e. the reboot, and Mortal Kombat 10, i.e. Mortal Kombat X or XL. They give a narrative. They give a point. And more importantly, they give direction. Is it good story? Occasionally. But you know, all that story happens to be in the game itself. You don't have to go to a frickin' Wikipedia site to find out the story of your favorite fighter. It's all there. It's all in there. And yeah, they still have, and especially in Mortal Kombat XL, they still have the arcadey finisher ones, that, as in, like, you beat the arcade, cool, you unlocked that character's story, congratulations. But they have the overarching story that's the true canon. And suffice it to say, that bled over into another series that has
The Hermit.
overwhelmingly destroyed its competition. Oh yeah, I want this one. And that would have to be, definitely have to be, Injustice, Gods Among Us. And that all started because of Mortal Kombat. And what do I mean by that? Well, Mortal Kombat versus DC is really where Injustice started. Because that was a terrible story. It was a terrible story that tried to shoehorn the Joker physically beating Superman. As much as you may or may not like Superman, current or past iterations, the Joker physically could never beat him. It's a duh. It's not supposed to happen. But this game decided to make it happen. Now,
What makes you small?
what does that all, like, correlate to? Well, easy. If it wasn't for that game actually having the framework that a good fighting game story should have, you don't pick a specific character. It's more like StarCraft 1. You play as the Terrans, then you play as the Zerg, and then you play as the Protoss, I believe. It builds from that. It continues the story. And that's what it did. And then Injustice took that, not only ran with it, but improved upon it. And now Injustice 2, I have heard no bad things about the story of this game. Have I been putting my ear to the ground? Nah. But, like, seriously, all of that was started because some dude just decided, let's have this really weird story. Ooh, wait, can I? Ha 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 ha! Ew. You are mine! I figured it wasn't gonna last. And so, yeah, I am looking forward to playing Injustice 2. But it's a pretty steep price. I'm not gonna lie. Ha! It stuns him. Oh, cool. So yeah, it just I'm really hoping that the trend that Mortal Kombat has, and I don't mean like the bloody finishers, because I'm sorry, the X-rays of Mortal Kombat XL look brutal as hell, but are dumb as shit. Like, you got hit. Cool, awesome. So you should be dead. You should, like, outright be dead. Are you? Nope. Ow. Take that. Aww. Well, that's my rant and gameplay for the day. That was a good run. That was actually a good run that I didn't die in 5 seconds. So I will catch you all in the next one. Until then, have fun, be safe, and aloha.